Hello, welcome to Lesson 3 of the Intermediate Robotics course. Today, we'll be going over assemblies in CAD and motion/mates. So, a quick assembly review from the beginner's lesson. Review. What is an assembly? Well, as some of you may remember from the beginner's lesson, an assembly is a structure made up of different parts. A good analogy of this could be a city or house made from wooden blocks. The blocks are the parts, and the city/house is the assembly. So, how might an assembly in CAD relate to what we just learned/reviewed about assemblies in real life? Well, that leads us into the second segment, assemblies in CAD. Assemblies in CAD are almost the exact same thing as in real life. They take the parts you made or that you might have pulled from a different website or STL file and allow you to put them together to make one large structure. So we're going to try it out. The first thing you're going to want to do is go into Onshape and follow these steps. First, at the bottom of your Onshape, in the bottom left corner, there'll be a plus sign. You're going to want to click on that, then click Create Assembly. After you create your assembly, you're going to go to the top left corner and click Insert. Once you've clicked Insert, you should see a UI full of all the parts you've made in the past lessons. If you still need to make new parts, you should have at least two, then you should go do that right now. These parts can be any shape or size. I'll give you a second to do that right now if you need some time or if you haven't made the parts yet. If you have made the parts, we'll move on. All right, ready? So, you're going to want to click on all the parts you want to insert into the assembly. Then, click the green check mark. Once you have all the parts inside of your assembly, then you can move them around and just kind of see how they work. All right, cool. So, why are assemblies important? And why are they important in CAD especially? Well, not only are assemblies in CAD great for spotting errors that you might have made between two parts, but they're also great at just visualizing how the parts may work together before you make them in real life if you do want to do that, whether it be machining the parts by hand or 3D printing them. This is especially important in robotics when you have so many parts that need to work with very little tolerance. This leads us into lesson 3, mates in CAD. So now that you have some parts in the assembly, what do you do with them? Well, you usually make an assembly in order to test how parts fit together. So how do you test that? Well, simple. You use mates. So let's work with mates and kind of test them. As said before, mates are used to connect parts together. So let's take a look on how to use them. First, click on the Fasten Mate in the top left corner. The icon will look like this, and it's right next to the Insert button. Next, click on two faces you want to connect. Then, click the check mark. If you want to look on this image, it shows you exactly how to do that. You've got one face on the cylinder and one face on the second part. Once you've clicked both of them, you'll click the check mark. Now, see what that does, and kind of explore what different faces will do when you connect them. Now, one important note. Before you are sent off to explore the different types of mate in Onshape, make sure you fasten mate one of your parts to the origin. The origin is that little center dot that's in the middle of your screen. This ensures that a part stays where it is and will come in handy for when you have moving parts/mates. So as you can see in this image, you have the fasten mate and you have the origin. So you click on the origin or the face first, and then click on the opposite, and then click on the check mark to fasten. Now that you've done that, we'll move on to exploring different mates. Below the green check mark, you'll see a drop down that says fastened. Try to click on it and try out the different types of mate from the drop down. What are some listed and what do they do? Also explore how you can mate two surfaces. So you can look at the revolute mate, the slider mate, or any others you find. Test that out right now. You can pause the video or do it after the video's ended. Alright, this brings us to the mini project for this lesson. With your newfound skills of assembly, try to design two parts that are specially designed to fit together using a mate. This can be a sliding mate, a revolute mate, or any others that you found. Some example projects, maybe two slots that slide together, or a fan that spins around, or also maybe a door that opens and closes using a hinge. Alright, that'll be it for lesson 3. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see your project soon.